So it has been a while, and I want to apologize. I've been trying to get back for 2 weeks. It is what it is. But I'm back now, and we're making this video. We're going to get through this one way or another. I just got to get it done. So we're going to be white-knuckling this shit all the way to the end. To start off, a lot of things have changed, but a lot have remained the same. We are going to be following this format, which is similar to our old one. We have the kits, we have the side projects, and then we have the community and Gunpla news. The Gunpla news is new, and there's also another section in there that we'll get to. As far as what all we're going over, you'll have to wait and see. But there is a lot in there, I promise you. Because it has been a long time since we have been here together, and I still, like I said, I apologize for that. So let's jump into this. Okay guys, so we're starting with kits. I'm just going to apologize because the audio is going to be shit due to echoes right here. But this is the SDEX Rising Freedom. It has turned out very well. As you can see, the beam sabers are actually beam sabers and not the white sticks anymore. I cut those off after painting them because I realized I didn't like how they turned out and I wasn't about to sand them down and try again. So I just cut them off and turned them into actual beam sabers. I had plenty of spare ones. Next up is the HG version. Now, these pieces down here still have to have a lot of paint done, and I still need to do inside the ports, but he is coming along quite nicely, and I'm really liking the way he feels. It's definitely like, you can tell it's a seed unit, but it doesn't have the old seed tech. It's definitely an upgrade in terms of the engineering in the building. So that's really cool to me. Now you're probably wondering where the rest of his wings are, and I'm going to show you that right now, because where they are is down here and getting cleaned up. They got airbrushed the other day. As you can see, it turned out quite nicely, but there is some stuff I need to fix about them and whatnot. So I'm working on that slowly but surely. Now you probably noticed this in the background and are wondering about it, and I'll explain this. You see, I decided it was time to bring back the third rack for special projects because they were just building up and I wasn't really working on them. I was buying the parts but not building them. I realized it when I went to go update the Polisher Self-Polisher Gunpla Excel file and make it more condensed in the backlog, and then I realized, these projects are starting to pile up, so I need to get on them. So I started working on this one. This is a gem, obviously. However, I am building the Gather Road Squadron GM, and this thing is turning out very nicely. I've already got him figured out in terms of like color schemes and whatnot. That's in the notes up here, and I am in the process of getting him painted and stuff, which I'm working on in bits and pieces. Obviously, it's a third rack. It's not part of my regular 2, so it's an as-needed thing, or an as-I-feel-like-it thing. But once this special project's done, the rack isn't going away. I'm going to keep using it either for regular builds as needed to keep to help reduce the backlog, or for special projects as they come in. Things I want to bump up to the top of the charts, but I already have something in, like say rack 1 or rack 2, or things that are what's the word I'm looking for? Special projects I've been waiting to do. For example, I got plans to build a Gunpla Mafia GM3 whenever I get the parts in. Hopefully like November, December timeframe. So when that happens, if this rack is open, those parts will be going straight into here, and even if there's something here, it will be getting pulled out and put into storage until I complete what I'm doing here. But it will have detailed notes so I know what exactly I left off on. Okay guys, starting on other projects now. We have been making strides left, right, and center. So to start off, we are going to talk about the 3D printer side of things. This is my 3D printer now. I 3D printed an arm for the top of it because I wanted it to have a smaller footprint, and the old sidearm was making it too big, so I wasn't able to use parts of my desk the way I needed to. So yeah, that's it now, and it works. It works well. I like it. I'm going to stick with it. It's doing exactly what I need to do, which is great because I got projects coming up that I want to print on it that are for friends and stuff like that I want to make sure that it was ready to go for it, and now it is. Moving on, we are now going to talk about graphics. Now, I've done a lot of graphics work while we've been gone. I'm staying over here because of that. To start off, there is this. This is a logo for a Gundam store that I came up with. I've always said I wanted to open one, but I don't have the skills, to be honest, and I don't have the capital to start with. So, yeah. I would call it side 4 Gundams and more though, and it would sell more than just Gundams. It'd be Gundams, it'd be stuff for like other hobbies and stuff too. That way you're not stuck in like a locked situation. So, and yes, the more is spelled that way intentionally. So, if you've watched Thunderbolt, you know. If you watched Thunderbolt, you know. Moving on. This has been the logo you guys have seen here forever. Now, I'm making a limited return to TikTok. I want to see how I can do over there, but I still want to produce mostly content for over here. So like the Wednesday Whip videos, any Mail Call Mondays, any Final Fridays, and then obviously the gaming content that I started doing recently, which if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. I just produced a new video last night, and I got another video coming out tomorrow, which will hopefully finish up Gundam Breaker 4, and then I got a plan for a future series involving SD Gundam Battle Alliance and doing a Fetty only run. And when I say that, I mean grunt suit Fetty, not Gundams. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but I want to give it a shot. Before we get there, though, let's talk about this logo thing. Like I said, this is the logo you guys know me as over here. However, over on TikTok, I changed it recently to this. The SD Don. Now, you see, I got the name Grindy Gunpla. I came up with it because I used to build these guys here. And to do them, you have to cut out the inside. You have to grind out the inside to where they fit perfectly onto the bear guy body. And that's what I was doing. You could also do it the other way where you just attach the bear guy head, but this was the way I like to do it. And as you can see from this one, they turned out pretty good. Like, this was one of my better ones in my opinion. I love the way his head fit. And this is the Build Strike Gundam bear guy. I always refer to them as like bear guy cosplays. And it still fits. And I built a lot of these over the years. Example. Yeah, there's a lot there. These guys are fun little builds. I love building them, but unfortunately the bear guys don't exist anymore. Because they don't exist anymore, I realized that part of the reason I enjoyed building them was all the work I got to do after the build. Like painting, panel lining, sanding, stuff like that. Stuff that wasn't part of the normal straight build. So, upon realizing that, I had decided I was going to start focusing on SD Gundams. That's originally what really drove me to focus in on SD Gundams. And I loved SD Gundams before, but that just was what I wanted. And so, yeah, the SD Don was born. Somebody called me that over on TikTok. It stuck with me. I decided to start using it, and now I'm going by that over there. If it works out well over there, and if I feel like the branding feels right, I'm going to expand it out to YouTube, and then possibly even go back to Facebook and reboot the Grinding Gunpla page over there as the SD Don. I'm in a lot of groups over there that I'll have to leave first because they're kind of dead groups, and I haven't been there in a long time, so I know they're dead because there's been no posts, and I was doing most of the posting. So, that being said, if this rebranding goes well, you'll see more of this logo in other places. Back to the streaming thing, though. It seems like people like the gameplay streaming, so I'm going to start doing that every Tuesday and Thursday. I don't think I've ever mentioned the schedule I'm looking at, but it's going to be like every Tuesday and Thursday in the morning after I get home from work. So I get home at like 1 in the morning. So it'll be starting around that time frame. Like whenever I get home, I'll take a minute to like set my stuff down, plug in my laptop, stuff like that, and then I'll get started on that. So, yeah, should be fun. Like I said, right now we're in the middle of the Gundam Breaker 4 series with this guy. This is Black Ops Captain Gundam. He has some of all of every missile ever. So, yeah. If he can't shoot it, he'll blow it up. It's one of the two. And I like him for it. In case you guys don't know, Captain Gundam is one of my favorites, and we'll discuss that more later in this video. But because he's one of my favorites, this guy here is cool as shit to me. Unfortunately, I can't ever build him because I don't have the parts. Like, I have them here at the house, but that would involve taking apart ones that are in my collection that I really, really love in my collection, and that's just not going to happen. So, unless I can find another Captain Gundam in the next 5 or 10 years that's cheap, it's not going to happen. And I say 5 or 10 years because, let's be honest, that's about how long I'll be able to enjoy this design without picking it apart completely. To be honest, I've already changed him a lot just from his original iteration, so... Moving on. We are, like I said, that's my new logo moving forward. It has affected other things, and we're going to talk about that now. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, actually. Let's come back to that. Because I want to talk about those two pieces of paper you see on the board behind me. I have this idea in the works, and I wanted to do a SD Gundam history in our world kind of thing. And those are timeline charts. This one here focuses on the TV shows. This one here focuses on the model kits. I had to draw them out so I could understand what I was looking at. And to be honest, the history is a lot deeper and richer than you guys might imagine. I'm looking into the process of making the video now because I kind of wanted to have like a voiceover, so I'm not on the screen the whole time. But I got to figure out how to make that work, and I got a few ideas that it has to do with other artwork I've been working on. If it works out well, it could be kind of cool. Moving forward, let's talk about the Gunpla Mafia, because that ties into the artwork thing I was talking about before. You see, with my new logo, I came up with a new style of text that I liked. And there's a lot of little steps to it, but I've got them all written down. Because of that, though, I made a new logo for the Gunpla Mafia. Now, this is the logo we've been using. Yeah, I know. You thought I was going to show you the new one right away. Now, this is the one we've been using. And it looks cool. It has that 1980s aesthetic vibe. Or not 1980s, sorry. 1920s aesthetic vibe as far as the way the guy's dressed and everything. And it looks really nice. However, it didn't feel right to me. It felt off. And so I made this one. Yeah, I know, there's an SD Gundam in the middle of it. Remember, this is me we're talking about. So there's a little bit more of me in this one. But it's very 1920s with the cars that were generated. And I did a full recolor on it. That is not the original colors. Not even close. In fact, that's the original colors. Yep, I made some changes. Moving on. This thing turned out really good. And so I have now launched it in the Gunpla Mafia. We actually launched it at the live we did the other day, which had a lot of technical issues on my end, and I think I know why, and I need to fix it, and I think I know how to fix it, which we will be testing this Friday in a live. I'm hoping to do a dual live between YouTube and TikTok, and at the same time be in the Discord server. It's not a Gunpla Mafia live, it's just me chilling out. So if you're part of the Discord and you want to join me, feel free. I will put a link to the Discord in the description below. So it will be there. That being said, we do have a new member in the Gunpla Mafia. Gunpla Shock from over on TikTok. He has joined us. Welcome to the club. And we have members doing all their own things again. So that's great. The community is growing. It's not 100% focused on Gunpla, which is fine. Fine by me. You know, we all have our hobbies, we all have our interests. If we're chasing dopamine, go for it. That's what I say. But we're growing as a group, whether it be as individuals that then brings it back to the group, or as a group as a whole. I'm good either way. Just as long as we're all having a good time. That's really what I want. Now, moving forward, I want to talk about some stupid stuff. That was the new section I mentioned. My kids got me something. Well, I got it. I paid for it. Then they gave them to me. And it was because I made the mistake. I ordered 3 full sets instead of 3 individual boxes of these guys. Gundam Legos. So my kids gave me 2 of the green Zaku, 1 of the red Zaku, which it's weird seeing a red Zaku without the commander fin. And then finally they gave me this one, which I think is supposed to be Strike Freedom, but in gold. And I'm not going to lie, it looks kind of cool. I set them up there with the Haro ball so they're in a safe place where nobody can mess with them. And my kids love them. They have all the other ones multiple times over. So, yeah, I ended up ordering like 3 sets. So there was a lot in there. I think it was like 12 per set. Yeah, I got to learn to read descriptions. Anyways. But that should tell you something, because the price was low enough that I went, yeah, that sounds right for a Lego minifigure. Look, we all know I'm an idiot. I have not hid that at all. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to jump into Gunpla news. Now, if you guys have not been paying attention on the... What would it have been? 27th here in the States. It was 28th in Japan. Bandai made an announcement about new Gundams that are coming out. Now, there was a lot of interesting kits in there, but considering it's me we're talking about, we're going to be going over a few kits in particular. In fact, it's these 3. This is the new Captain Gundam set. Now, I don't know if the other 2 are Captain Gundam, but I know the one is. And it's nice to see him get an update and an upgrade. I've been saying for a very long time he needed that. So to see these guys coming, super stoked. Like, I am really stoked. I've even considered buying like the steady chrome markers when it comes time, so I can do the symbols in a really bright shiny gold. Still working on that idea, but I'm excited to see these guys coming. I like I said, I love Captain Gundam. I love SD Gundam Force, so I'm hoping this is going to be like a new SD Gundam Force, and I really hope there's comic books in with the instructions, because I want to see what the adventures the captain's getting into now with his new form. Now these things are supposed to have a transformation gimmick. A friend of mine over on TikTok, Van, he did some lighting effects with his phone to change the background a bit to allow him to see it better. I did the same thing. I don't know, I can't remember what his looked like, but if his results and mine are the same, this is what I got. Now, I used a few different tricks, so I think mine's a little bit different than his, but, you know, that's not a bad look, whatever that is. It's going to be interesting, and if it turns out to be something that, you know, I want to build, I'm going to buy another set of these guys. I already pre-ordered one set through USA Gundam Store. Thank you guys for having that on the website the day after. I appreciate that. But I've already ordered one set through them. If I have to, I'll order another set in order to be able to build this guy, whatever this thing is in the background, if it looks cool. I'm hoping we get more information prior to launch, so that if I do want to do it, I can just pre-order them as well. But it's Bandai. It could be hit or miss. So I'm going to wait and see. Yeah. Anyways, that completes the news portion of this. Imagine we probably won't have many of these, just because Bandai doesn't release news regularly. They release it like quarterly or sometimes on occasion in between. So, yeah, and since my focus is mostly SD Gundam, let's be honest, if there's no SD Gundam in there, I probably won't talk about it. But yeah. And that's not to say that the other grades aren't good. It's just that's what I like. Now, if you guys want me to talk about the other kits that came out, let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than glad to come back and do them in the next video and show stills for everything. But to be honest, a lot of people have already talked about it, and I'm 2 to 3 weeks late to the party on this one, so you've probably already seen these guys around. That being said, I appreciate you guys being here. I think we've gone over everything that we needed to go over. Like I said, a lot's been going on, and a lot of it was with my kids, just getting them set back up at school and making sure all that went smoothly. But anyways, you guys have a great one. I need to get off here and go knock out some stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, that actually reminds me. I'll catch you next time. Shouldn't be what I say. With the help of Microsoft Copilot, it has been helping me to write posts for the Gunpla Mafia. Now, at the end of those posts, it gave me a sign-off line that I really liked, and I'm going to start using it. I got to remember that more often. So, we're going to try it out here for the first time. Let's hope I get this right, guys. I've been trying to remember it all week, off the top of my head. I think I have it now. So, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here and go get some stuff done. Stay sharp, stay creative, and keep on building. I'll see you next time.